Christopher Columbus and the Discovery of America. Beyond the edge of the map, the quest that changed the world. In the late 15th century, Europe was a vibrant, restless continent fueled by ambition, trade, and a thirst for new knowledge. The Renaissance had sparked an insatiable curiosity about the natural world, and the Ottoman Empire's stranglehold on eastern trade routes had made access to Asia's riches a nearly impossible dream. In this atmosphere of intellectual and economic urgency, one man's audacious vision set the stage for a discovery that would reshape history. The Navigator's Gamble. Christopher Columbus was not an obvious hero. Born in Genoa, Italy, Columbus was the son of a weaver, and his early years offered no indication he would ever set foot on a ship, let alone chart a course to unknown lands. Yet, Columbus became obsessed with geography, astronomy, and the writings of ancient scholars. He was captivated by the idea that the Earth was round, a fact widely accepted by educated Europeans of his time, and convinced that sailing westward across the Atlantic would lead to the fabled riches of Asia. However, Columbus underestimated the size of the Earth. Using flawed maps and speculative calculations, he believed the distance between Europe and Asia was far shorter than it actually was. For years, he lobbied European monarchs to sponsor his voyage, meeting rejection after rejection. His fortunes changed in 1492 when Spain's monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella, desperate to outflank Portugal in the race for new trade routes, agreed to fund his daring expedition. The Voyage of the Unknown. On August 3, 1492, Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera with 3 ships, the sturdy Santa Maria, the nimble Pinta, and the small but reliable Niña. The crew, a mix of experienced sailors and reluctant adventurers, faced an uncertain journey. Superstitions about sea monsters and fears of falling off the earth plagued their imaginations. For over 2 months, they sailed westward across the vast and uncharted Atlantic Ocean. As supplies dwindled and morale faltered, whispers of mutiny rose among the crew. Columbus, driven by an almost fanatical belief in his mission, persuaded them to persevere. He promised land was near, though he himself was beginning to doubt. Landfall in the New World. On October 12, 1492, a cry from the Pinta pierced the pre-dawn darkness: land! Land! What Columbus and his crew had stumbled upon was not Asia but an island in the Bahamas, which Columbus named San Salvador. He was greeted by the Taino people, whose friendliness and generosity amazed the Spaniards. To Columbus, these were the Indians, a term born of his mistaken belief that he had reached the Indies. From there, Columbus explored parts of the Caribbean, including modern-day Cuba and Hispaniola. He marveled at the exotic flora, the gold ornaments worn by the indigenous people, and their unfamiliar customs. To his backers in Spain, he sent reports filled with promises of untold wealth, though he remained oblivious to the magnitude of his discovery. The Clash of Worlds. Columbus returned to Spain a hero, bringing with him a few Taino individuals, exotic artifacts, and tales of a new land. The Spanish crown quickly recognized the potential of this new world and funded additional expeditions. Columbus, however, struggled to live up to his initial success. His later voyages were marked by administrative failures, brutal treatment of native peoples, and growing disillusionment. Meanwhile, the discovery of the Americas set off a wave of exploration and colonization that reshaped the world. Spain, Portugal, and later other European powers carved up vast territories, often at the expense of indigenous civilizations. The Columbian Exchange, an enormous transfer of plants, animals, diseases, and people, forever altered the ecosystems and cultures on both sides of the Atlantic. The legacy of a misstep. Columbus died in 1506, still convinced he had found a shortcut to Asia. He never grasped the true scope of his achievement. He had opened the door to 2 continents that had remained isolated from the rest of the world for millennia. Today, his legacy is deeply contested. While some hail him as a bold visionary, others condemn the devastation his voyages brought upon native populations. The discovery of the Americas is a tale of daring ambition, tragic consequences, and the unquenchable human spirit of exploration. It reminds us that even the most flawed journeys can lead to transformations beyond imagination, forever altering the course of history. In the end, it was not Columbus who discovered a new world, but the world itself that awakened to a new reality, one that would intertwine the fates of countless peoples in a complex and often painful narrative that continues to shape our world today.